Hello again, this is Twitchonium here. I am coming at you with my first Crimson Vow quick draft. It has been a long time since I have drafted this format, and I don't have fond memories of it. So we'll see if we can change that this time around. I just seem to recall the day-night mechanic feeling overly punishing, especially if you draw too many or too few lands, because then you're not casting any cards and you're already feeling bad, and then on top of that your opponent's werewolves are all getting huge. So we'll see how this goes here, but let's go ahead and get on into the drafting. See if we open up something spicy. I do remember this being a pretty bomb heavy format, and we have opened up Ill-Tempered Loner. Well, if we do want to get into a maybe like a red-green werewolf deck, that might not be a terrible start. Although with the double red, it is going to put us pretty heavily into red. But pretty good rare there. We'll see what else we've got in here. We have the uncommon Selesnya card here, which is pretty great if you're in the human +1 counter synergy deck. Got a nice black removal spell here, and same thing with blue. The Flame Breather can be pretty great in the blue-red spells deck. Just if you get enough of these kind of effects, you can start pinging your opponents out. That's pretty much it. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the rare here, though. Just get a solid start to the draft. Alright, and pick number 2. Let's take a look. Got another bounce spell in blue. We've got some self-mill synergies in black. Although if memory serves, I thought the blue-green deck was the self-mill deck. Nice little card draw here. With the Voltaic Visionary, that might be the play. I'm always down for a solid 2-drop. Keeps us in red. If we want to go the Blood Token route, there's also Lacerate Flesh as a removal spell, although it is pretty expensive, and being sorcery speed's not my favorite either. I think I'd probably rather take the Visionary over the Lacerate. Gift of Fangs is a nice, fine little piece of black removal. Just get something -2/-2, although there is the chance that you need to remove something that ends up being a vampire, at which case this does have that pretty big downside potential. Although, for the cost of 1 mana, it's still a great little card. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Visionary here. Nice little 2-drop follow-up to the rare we took. And now Fleeting Spirits doesn't seem like where we really want to be in this deck. We're not going to have the self-mill or anything for the activated ability there. Although there is a lot of graveyard synergies in this set just in general with all of the Disturb. So with red specifically, the archetypes are going to be red-black blood tokens or red-green wolves most likely. Impulse, nice little piece of card draw. Pyre Spawn can be okay at the top end, although red really struggles in this in depth in this format, if I remember correctly. So we may want to try and move into a second color here this pack. Maybe take one of these black cards. The Bloodseeker's pretty good in the white-black deck when you're going for the life gain synergies. Ragged Recluse can be a nice little 2-drop that can turn itself into a 3/3. Nice value off of a 2-mana play. And I guess if we are going to go the red-black route, we could pick up some things like the Reckless Impulse. Or not the Reckless Impulse. What was it that was having us discard? I guess it was the Fleeting Spirit. But there's plenty of ways to discard cards. There's also Grisly Ritual for removal, though. So I think here I'm torn between the Recluse and the Grisly Ritual. Boy, that's tough. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and just take up the removal. No. When in doubt, I'm going to take the cheaper card. Alright, and this pack got some equipment. Card draw in blue. Foreboding Statue can be nice in any deck. Just helps ramp you towards any of your late game plays and can flip over into a pretty decent threat of its own. I'm going to hover that for now. If we wanted to go in black or red still here, we could get some blood tokens with a reasonable top-end creature here, just kind of filler. Desperate Farmer, not a bad little 3-drop with the lifelink. There are a number of life matters in black, but again, that's more for the black-white direction. Phalanx for the Toughness Matters decks. I think that's green-black, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and I'm not in for the making the opponent discard route, so I'm going to take the statue here. If we can get some bigger plays towards the top end, that'll be pretty nice. Here we've got the Archghoul. Really just for zombie strategies. I don't think we have any zombies right now. We also have the Diagraph Scavenger, which is a fine Death Toucher. But I don't know that it's really where we want to be here. Since we only have the one black spell, really, I think I'm actually on taking this Flourishing Hunter. We could still go towards the green-red wolf deck, and this is a excellent top end for that deck. Can help you stabilize significantly, and we have the statue already to help ramp us into that, so I think I'm actually going to go ahead and take that here and snatch that up. And here we see some blue spells that are filler, nothing terrible, nothing great. In black we have the Socialite, which creates a blood token and then has a outlet for us to spend our blood tokens. So if we can get heavier into the red-black blood strategy, that might be alright. There's also a reasonable 2-drop, although if we are going to be red-green, we probably don't want the human here. I think I might actually prefer the Scorpion if I am going to just snatch up a 2-drop that's not a wolf. Just Death Touch on it, and then also being able to give something else Death Touch is nice. And there's a fair amount of, trample in green always, so would be a way to give a trampling creature Death Touch as well. And then the Servitor is just a fine filler for the blood token strategy. Could also take an Evolving Wilds. It's always a fine pick, especially if we're going to have these double-costed cards. But I'm going to go ahead and snatch up this Scorpion. I think that'll be alright. And here, if we were in the black-blue deck, there are some pretty great combos you can do with the Skull Scab. I can't remember the names of the cards, but there's this one exploit card that you can do and then bounce it to your hand, and if you can, if you have enough mana open, you can repeat that 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a turn and then make a whole bunch of zombies, which is pretty sweet. But for what we're trying to do, we've got a 2-drop wolf, which is just, fine on-curve wolf here. We have a nice aggressive 1-drop wolf, which can be a mana sink later in the game, which is pretty nice. And then we've also got the Weaver of Blossoms, which I think is what I'm actually going to go ahead and take here, just since we are going to be trying to ramp into some bigger stuff, it looks like. And this is a really nice little werewolf to enable your day-night cycle and help ramp you at the same time, so I'm going to snatch up the Weaver. And here we've got another Foreboding Statue, which, maybe we're just going to play the ramp strategy here, although I would really love to pick up some removal. This one is, the Festivities is not where we want to be. Unlike the spell from Phyrexian will be 1 draft, the Blast that deals 1 damage and turns all the blockers off. This one is not nearly as good in this format. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab up another statue. And here we could take a 1-drop filler, 2-drop filler, or I think I'm just going to go ahead and snatch up a Sure Strike, and we'll just firmly be in the red-green deck here. And now we do have the Lacerate Flesh. Not the most efficient removal spell, but I think we'll take it. Could also take the Bramble Armor as equipment, but I don't think that's where we really want to be right now. We don't have any 1-drops to attach it to, and I'd rather have a nice removal spell. Here we can pick between the Impulse and the Sure Strike. Let's see if we take out our removal here. What does our curve look like? Not really impressive yet, but we are still in pack 1. I think if we're going to be trying to get towards some of these bigger spells, we might actually want the first Impulse just to make sure we can kind of keep digging through our deck. Here, none of these matter. I'll go ahead and take up the Spirit. And sure, why not? Alright, let's see what we open in pack number 2 here. Hopeful Initiate. Not what we're looking for, but pretty great little card. In our colors, we have Flame Blessed Bolt, which is probably what I'm going to be snatching up here. Just a 1-mana instant, deal 2 damage to a creature, and it exiles it, which definitely can come in relevant with all of the graveyard abilities in this set. Lightning Wolf, a nice little wolf card for curve. If we can wheel that, that'd be pretty nice. The Storm Drake is pretty great in the red-blue deck. Also there's another blue deck that it's pretty great into. I can't remember which color pairing that is though, but just a nice way to keep drawing you some cards. We also have a Fearful Villager that we could snatch up for the werewolf synergies, or the day-night cycles, but I think here I'm going to go ahead and just grab up the piece of super efficient removal. And now we have the Infestation Expert. When it enters a battlefield or attacks, we're going to make insect tokens, and it'll flip over into a 4/5 that'll make even more tokens. We also have another Flame Blessed Bolt here, which would be great. Definitely think I'd take either of those over the armor. In white, there's a couple of great options. There's the Ancestor, that both is a great lifelinker on its own, or it can give lifelink to a flyer or something big later in the game. And Valor's Stanch, which is a nice combat trick or removal spell, very flexible. But here I'm going to go ahead and snatch up the Expert. And now, what do we have? Some vampires. Not really the plan we're looking to be on here. If we can get enough angers, this is not a terrible little trick, but not exciting either. We also have the Recruit, which is just a 2-for-1 that 2 creatures on 1 card that can train each other up. Not exciting. Not really the most exciting pack overall for us. Yeah, I'm not really happy on any of these, so I think I'll take an Anger just in case we end up getting a bunch. And now we are rewarded here with Child of the Pack, one of the best uncommons for the red-green werewolf build around. You can get 2/5 out, and then you spend your turn just making a wolf, which still impacts the board, but also will mean you don't cast any spells that turn, so it'll flip over to night, which is nice. I would love to snatch up this Hunter, would be great, another big top-end critter, but the Taxidermist would be pretty nice as well as a 2-drop for ramping, but we've already got 2 statues and a Weaver for ramp, so I think I'm going to grab up the Child of the Pack here. Great pack, that last one there. And now we can go ahead and grab up another Hunter here. Don't want too many, but if you get 2 of these out at the same time, then the second one obviously will heal you for 6, which will be nice. Now we've got a Mulch, which if we had some more graveyard synergies going on might be alright, but I think I might just take up another Lacerate Flesh here. nothing else really in our colors or reasons to pivot off. Edgar's Awakening can be fine, but we're pretty far off from wanting to go that route. And now we can get a pump spell here for the team. What does Ripsaw do? +3/+3. Alright. Potentially gaining trample, but 3 mana to play it, 3 mana to equip it, that just seems pretty expensive there. Spore Crawler, one of the best green commons. Whenever it dies, you draw a card. Better in the graveyard synergy decks, but could still be fine for us here. Just a nice solid 3-drop. How's our 3-drop slot looking? I guess we do already have 3. Should be probably prioritizing 2-drops a little more highly. But I don't think a Bramble Armor is really what I want in that slot anyways. So, yeah, go ahead and take the Spore Crawler here. Now we've got Retrieve, way to actually make use of our graveyard. Kind of high on that. We also have another Spore Crawler for some card draw, which would be fine. Definitely would take that over the Combatants or the Crushing Canopy, but here I think I like having access to 1 copy of Retrieve, get back some of our better spells. And now, since we have plenty of 3-drops, I'm going to go ahead and take the Lightning Wolf. Another nice way to sink our mana into something else that might let us not cast any spells and flip day to night. Here we'll snatch up 1 copy of the Bramble Armor and a Recruit. I guess we'll take up another Anger if we do get enough. We might end up playing them. And the Mulch. And here we go in pack number 3. Gatilda the Dawnheart Martyr. Flying lifelink protection from vampires. Not where we want to be, but cool card. Really like the art on this one. Manuel Castanyan. For us, though, we've got Wolfstrike. Just a green, pseudo-fight spell. Not bad. Yeah, I think that's really the main consideration here. Maybe wheel one of the filler creatures here. Really need to start looking to pick up some cheaper creatures and plays as well, but that said, the Brambleworm is really strong. More in the black-green deck, but we could play one as the very top end. Stalker can be pretty nice. 3 mana, 3/3 that turns into a 6/3. If we really wanted to stick on the true drop plays, we could snatch up the Sporeback Wolf or the Ridge Wolf here. I think I'd prefer the Ridge Wolf over the Sporeback though. Or even another Weaver would be pretty nice, but I'd rather grab up a 2-drop over another 3. Oh, this is tough. We already have the 2 6-drops. We do have 3 ways to ramp. I think I'm going to be greedy here and probably regret having so much on the top end, but I'm going to grab that worm. And now another Wolfstrike for another piece of removal here. I think that's going to be the play. None of these other green or red cards are particularly exciting. And as we said before, the Ripsaw is just really expensive. And now, Witch's Web is a fine combat trick. It can really take people off guard. You attack with your creature and then end up untapping it and surprising them with it. And giving reach. Don't really think I want the Millipede or the Pyre Spawn, so we'll snatch that one. Now we've got another Sure Strike. Nature's Embrace might not be a bad option here as another way to ramp us towards our big plays. You can use it as a ramp spell in the early game, or if you don't need the mana anymore in the late game, you can just attach it for +2/+2. I think I like that over another Sure Strike. We have a couple of combat tricks and fight spells and stuff already. And now we really need to pick up 2-drops highly, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Scorpion. The Into the Night is not very good, even though it seems like what we're trying to do here. just spending 4 mana just to turn day into night is just not where you want to be. So we'll grab a Scorpion. And now the choice is between an Epic here, just to have some early creatures on the board, or a Massive Might for another nice combat trick. As much as I want the early creatures, I really don't think this is the kind of creatures we're looking for. And we wheeled the Ridge Wolf, which is pretty nice. Or no, we didn't wheel it. This is not the wheel yet, but I'm very happy to see a Ridge Wolf here. And now I think I'd rather have a Lightning Wolf than a Recruit. And we wheeled the Sporeback Wolf, still pretty great. And here we'll take the uncommon for the Vault. And again. Alright, looks like that's going to be it here. Well, let's take a look and see what we can do with what we got. Alright, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. A little light on the 2 drops. I would ideally like to have at least 6 of those, but that's alright. I'm pretty happy with all of our 3 drops. We definitely want the ramp into some of our big game-ending plays here. The 4 drop slot, definitely a little crowded here. I think the Recruit can for sure go. Potentially 1 Lightning Wolf, but I think I'm going to go ahead and leave all the rest of our creatures in for now. And we'll take a look at our non-creature spells here first. So we've got Combat Trick. Well, the Bolt is definitely staying. We may end up cutting a Flesh, but I think of the combat tricks, I think I actually like the Witch's Web better than the Massive Might, although both might not be the worst. Bramble Armor can definitely go. We're for sure keeping the Wolf Strikes. And the Retrieve. We can probably get rid of Nature's Embrace and just use all of our ramp on the creatures here. Get rid of 1 Lacerate Flesh. Maybe we get rid of both Lacerate Fleshes and just stick all in on our creature-based removal and our Wolf Strikes and all. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. And here, I'm kind of tempted to ditch the Impulse, but I'm not sure that that's the right decision. Yeah, I think I'm going to ditch the Impulse and the Might. Although the Might is the cheaper option, I just feel like both the Sure Strike and the Witch's Web are going to win me combat more often than the Might would, even though it has the Trample tacked on. And we are at a 14-8 split. But with the double colors and all the fixing, I think we're probably alright to run it like this. Yeah. Doesn't seem like a terrible little deck here. Red, one of the weaker colors in the format, but green, one of the stronger, so hopefully this will balance out nicely. I'll see y'all in the first match. Welcome to game number 1. We are here on the draw with a reasonable little curve, a little heavy on the lands, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it for now. See what our opponent is playing. Opponent potentially mulliganing down here. Looks like they're thinking pretty hard. Ooh. Well, let's see if that helped them there or not. Would really love to draw into a 5-drop, would be nice there. Something to ramp into with our statue. We really didn't get a lot of 5-drops. We got some 6-drops, which 5-drops would have been ideal with the 3-cost rampers we've got, but that's okay. Opponent playing an Undead Butler. Gotta go ahead and mill some cards. And I think we'll go ahead and swing in first here. And then we'll get down our statue. Next turn we can play the Scorpion, give something Death Touch, and then hold up a Witch's Whip, keep a combat trick up. Opponent really going in on the graveyard synergies here. Going to be able to get back some creatures perhaps, although looks like they just have a Snarling Wolf at the moment. I think we will go ahead and give our Ridge Wolf Death Touch, just in case they go ahead and double block here. And we'll hold up our Witch's Web. Opponent playing a Death Toucher of their own, likely to exploit one of their creatures here. Yep. And now they can get back the wolf they had, I guess. Yep. Opponent going to go ahead and play that wolf there. And we'll tap for black mana, why not? Get a counter going on our statue. And here, I think we're going to go ahead and swing in again with our wolf. If they want to trade it off for their stinger, I'm happy to make that trade. If they want to double block, we can combat trick it up. Opponent not going to take the bait, so we will go ahead and drop our 6/6 here. Opponent going to blow up our artifact here. Disappointing, but not the end of the world. Would be great to draw into one of our fight/removal spells. And now we'll go ahead and swing with our wolf again, since it has 3 power. If they want to double block with the 2 small creatures, I'm okay with using the Witch's Web on that. Opponent gonna eventually have to start taking some of these blocks, yeah. Nope, but not yet. Kind of wishing I had the other combat trick now that gives my creature trample. Would be nice for the hunter here. Ooh, and the opponent gonna exploit their butler again, I guess. I guess maybe there's their Snarling Wolf. Make us sacrifice a creature. See if they choose to attack here. If they do, we can use our Witch's Web to some pretty good effect. Unlikely, given our 6/6 is still holding down the fort pretty well. Yep. Ooh, and Child of the Night is an excellent play. Or draw, rather. We'll get the day-night cycle going and still be able to hold up our Witch's Web. I think for now we are going to go ahead and hold off on the attack, though. Next turn we could spend the whole turn making 2/2/2s instead, and then flip it over to night. If they can't remove the child, it's going to start being a problem, although a 113 is going to be difficult to get through. Alright. Ooh, Loner, also an excellent draw. I think we want it to be night first, though, and then we'll go ahead and drop that next turn. And now it is officially night. Giving all other creatures +1/+0. Has trample as well, which is pretty nice. And we can drop the Avenger and then swing all. Oh, they played 2 though, I forgot. That's alright. I think we're going to go ahead and spend one more turn doing the, just making some wolves here. No reason to rush things. Don't want to put the Loner in danger until we can take full advantage of it. Opponent is going to be able to make some use of the day-night cycle themselves now, although that should be the only card they're able to play this turn. But playing out the Loner here, I'm pretty sure is going to just be GG. If they don't block, they die. If they do block, it can just start dealing damage to their face. Didn't do the math here. It's very possible there's some out that I'm not seeing, but I think we're pretty safe. Definitely a complicated set of blocks for the opponent, trying to take full advantage of all their creatures, but we'll see if it ends up changing things here. All right, here we go. That is a whole lot of triggers. Opponent gonna bring back a creature to their hand, but then they will likely die. There we go. Not a bad showing from our werewolf deck here in game number 1. The Avenger / Loner. I don't think I ever drafted that back when Crimson Vow came out, and holy cow, that is a strong card. But I'll see y'all in the next match. Welcome back to game number 2. We are on the play this time. We are missing a color, both we don't have any cards or any lands of that, but I think I'm okay to actually to to keep this. We have the statue for fixing if we do draw a red, so retrieve to get it back if they kill it off, so I think it's alright. Not the strongest and fastest of starts, but we can always gum up the board and try to go into the long game where we can generate a lot of value. Weaver, a nice little drop, another ramp option for us here. Get us closer and faster towards our Hunter. I think I am going to lead with the Weaver, just because we do have some werewolf synergies and just general wolf synergies. And we'll attack in with the Death Toucher. Opponent has a combat trick, that's totally fine. Or a removal spell for 2. Or just the bluff. We could kill off their wolf, or one of their wolves, I should say. I think I'd rather get the statue out just to make sure we can hit our Hunter next turn. Keep our Death Toucher back if they want to attack in with their wolves. Opponent with the aggressive attack here. I don't think I actually want to block with the Weaver. I don't mind taking the damage here. We still have plenty of life. Opponent with another Epicure and a Weaver of their own. Well, now it's interesting. We could play the Infestation Expert, start getting some creatures, which I'm some insects, which I'm kind of a fan of, and that way when we play the Hunter, it will give us even more life because we'll have a creature with higher toughness on the board. Don't really have a good secondary play to follow it up with, but I think I prefer that right now. Just take it slow. If the opponent spends a turn cracking Bloods, they can flip it to night for us, even if they'll get a little value as well. And here, I think we'll offer the trade there. I'm okay blocking here if they do have a trick, that's fine. I don't know that I want to risk the Infestation Expert, though. Let's see what they have here. Maybe a Sure Strike. Massive Might, that'll do too. Better to get it out of their hand now. Oh, we get a Sure Strike of our own. Although now we cannot play our Hunter. Actually, I think I'm about clearing their board off here. Opponent appears to have something. Perhaps just going to crack some blood tokens. Gonna give it extra toughness, but we'll get around that here. And get in a nice swing and make us another pest for a little chump blocker. Next turn we can retrieve a removal spell and a creature if we need to here. And I'm feeling pretty good about our spot. Opponent with the Expert of their own. Not bad. But we are going to drop our Hunter here. We will not attack. But now we've got a pretty sizable board and the ability to get back some of our interaction. And we'll go ahead and add a green. I Would I rather have the Death Touch on this board state? No, I think I'd rather have the bigger creature. Oh, it's a non-creature permanent. I thought it was a just a non-creature spell. In that case, I think I'm going to go ahead and just hold off for now. But we will swing in with these two. Ah, opponent going to flash in a nice creature of their own to trade off. Not so bad. Now we will go ahead and retrieve our hunter. And hopefully next turn we'll get another little life swing with it. Opponent gonna use their blood token to draw a card. Yep, no reason not to attack with their wolf here. Ooh, if there's a combat trick, I'm gonna regret this, but the odds of them top decking one are low. Yeah. And next turn now we'll be free to swing in on our creature. No, maybe not. Get our 6/6 back in play again though. Don't think we're attacking in this board state though. Opponent making good use of their blood tokens, getting rid of their lands here. Not the best top deck here, but right now we'll take anything that'll widen the board out a bit. If we can draw into our rare, that would be pretty nice. Then we can swing in with a little more freely. We would really like to draw into some action, though. Opponent going to be able to start using their Visionary. Although actually, if we do end up drawing our rare, we're going to be pretty happy that they're spending some time to hit themselves. Now they're going to go ahead and transform their Visionary. Well, we'll keep playing our little wolves as long as that's what we keep drawing. But I would love to see our child, the werewolf we can pump mana into. Another statue's not so bad. Eventually we can flip that over into another 5/5. I guess I should play out this land here. I doubt there's anything that they have that can make us discard or need to hold cards for a discard. Alright, now, I don't think we really care to give something Death Touch. None of these have, I guess this guy has Trample. But we don't need to swing in with just the one. Plus this will hold off their guys pretty well. If the opponent has a board team-wide pump spell, that would be pretty bad for us. This also very bad for us, but not the end of the world. If they do attack in here, I'm fine trading a Scorpion into the werewolf. See if they have yet another combat trick. Maybe a way to get it back from their graveyard. We just can't luck out on our draws here. Ah, opponent with a child of their own. That might be the death knell for us here. They're just swinging with the 1, though. I'm okay with that. Considering hard here. There we go. They're going to go ahead and send in with the full team. And we will see how we're going to be blocking here. I think we're going to trade off with the 4 toughness here. And here. I think this is the best we can block. Not looking good, though. Would love to draw into some action, finally. And a Jinxed. We'll go ahead and swing in because we can, and concede. Nice long game between the two red-green decks. They just top-decked a lot better than we did. We just hit so many lands in a row there. Still, pretty fun game. See y'all in round 3. Welcome to game number 3. We are on the play with a pretty slow start, but I think I am going to go ahead and keep it. This deck is definitely trying to play a longer game than most. Just hope we don't get aggroed out here. If so, it happens. No turn 1 play, that's a good start for us. And thankfully we are not punished for the slow starting hand we kept, so pretty nice there. Opponent drawing 2 cards and creating a blood token. Ooh, discarding to hand size as well. We're gonna go ahead and not attack with our statue because we'd like to get that flipped over into a 5/5 here. I think I'd rather that than the 1 point of chip damage. Although I say that now, and that means that at the end of the game they'll be sitting there with 1 life as I struggle to get through their board. Let's just go ahead and do this now. Opponent thinking pretty hard here about their second play. Gonna just play another Butler. Have they milled any creatures yet? Not yet. But now they have some options. Monstrosity could be pretty scary for us, especially with the ward too. Now we're going to go ahead and attack in first with our wolf. Yep, they'll go ahead and get their horror, which is fine. Yep, or monstrosity, crab horror. And now I think we will go ahead and just get the visionary down. I think I'm going to hold on to the scorpion though for now. Just keep our mana up for a trick or a strike if it becomes necessary. Might want to switch out Retrieve for something else in between matches since I misunderstood the card. I thought this was a non-creature spell, not a non-creature permanent. I don't think we have but one enchantment in the deck, if that. That with the Death Touch, I think, is going to warrant... that's tough, though, because I really would like to save this Wolf Strike for that horror. Well, opponent exiling the only other creature in their graveyard. Very glad they milled this Necro Duality. Alright. So now we can go ahead and flip our creature into a 5/5, which I think is going to be the play. At the beginning of the end step, I misunderstood. And then we'll go ahead and swing with the team. Likely to block with their Scavenger here, and then we'll use our combat trick. Well, do I care enough about the Visionary here? I don't think I do. I think I'm gonna hold on to the Sure Strike, unless they play something here. Opponent gonna get that back, but that's all right. Now we'll flip into a 5/5 and start making mana each upkeep. Opponent gonna discard a card. The zombie, now that they know their Necro Duality is in the graveyard, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for us. Expecting to see that horror come down here pretty soon, but then we'll go ahead and Wolf Strike it right away. And we'll attack all here and then, or with the 2, and then Sure Strike away the Scavenger now. Ooh, another Wolf Strike, an excellent draw. I don't think it matters here. Go ahead and swing with our 2 big creatures. Give this one First Strike so it does not die with the Death Touch. And I'm feeling pretty good about our spot here. We've got 2 Wolf Strikes to get rid of whatever they end up playing here, which will most likely be their horror. Unless they have something worse in hand, which would be an unpleasant time for us. But the horror is the piece of information we already have, so if they want to keep more secrets and... Ooh, a Scab. Nice little flyer that can draw them a card. But that's one we can go ahead and... Ooh, that's not the target. That we can Wolf Strike number 1 away. But now if they do play the horror, we'll still have the mana to pay for the ward on their turn here with our second Wolf Strike, and then we should be all set. Hopefully they'll spend their turn tapping out for it here. Gonna play a Wretched Throng. Get their board as wide as possible. And a Diver Scab to exploit the Throng. We'll go ahead and make use of this here, although I might regret that not having access to it for the monstrosity, but I'm going to bank on the Scorpion's Death Touch doing the trick there if we need to. Alright, we will go ahead and tap this for a blue. And I'm expecting them to drop the monstrosity here finally. But we can give our Lightning Wolf first strike and Death Touch, which would be pretty nice on the attacks here. It means they'll be forced into trading with our Thresher and not block that. We'll go ahead with green, since we're going to play the Scorpion. Yep, opponent making the best blocks they have. Curious how many Throngs they might have in their deck. They have at least 2. Do they have more? Doesn't look that way. But we'll go ahead and start putting counters on our other statue here. Statues have been doing pretty good work for us in these games. Definitely glad to have both of them. And another Scab from the opponent. Gonna try and dig towards another body on the board, I suspect. Scab does block our Lightning Wolf very well. Alright, and Witch's Web, an excellent draw here for us. Opponent potentially going to be removing our Lightning Wolf. That's not the end of the world. We can still swing with our Death-Touching Scorpion. I doubt they're going to block with their Scab. Or they will. Do we keep the Scorpion? That's the question. I don't think we care about it enough. If we really need to, we can get it back. Witch's Web allowing us to untap our wolf here potentially as well. Don't think we need to use it that aggressively though. Opponent has been exiling creatures, but they do still have a fair amount in their graveyard here. Getting some excellent value here. And now I think we will, if they don't play a creature, we will go ahead and Witch's Web so that we can get our Lightning Wolf untapped. Would love to see them use their blood token. Definitely a tricky spot for the opponent. They are going to go ahead and sacrifice the blood token. Let's see if they did not draw into anything. And that'll be the game. We lucked out pretty hard there at the end. The Witch's Web coming in clutch for the untap. I think that's the first time I've used it just for that. But we're going to go ahead and get the victory in game number 3. I'll see y'all in the next round. Welcome back to game number 4. We are on the play with another very slow hand. This is tricky. Our deck definitely wants to play the long game with the big top-end creatures we have, and I think I'm going to keep it. We didn't get punished too hard last time. We'll see if the same holds true again. Alright. Would love to see another creature here. A cheaper creature, I should say. If not, we'll just get our Blossom down. And at least we'll have a play next turn. Can hold up the Witch's Web as well. That's a little scary, if it can get a bunch of counters on it. Thankfully, so far, all they have are 1-drops there. Oh, this is unfortunate. I'd love to, I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove that right now before it has the chance to get any counters. Get it exiled as well. Ah, we can still play the wolf because I have a mana dork, that's right. Yeah, I like this play, and then we can still hold up the Witch's Web for a nice piece of trickery should they attack in with our Weaver. Untap it for a second blocker. Can't imagine they're going to be attacking in with their Ministers, though. Yeah, they'll just use them for a little bit of life gain here. Are they going to attack in with their Taxidermist? They are going to swing in. This is tough. They probably have some sort of trick here. +2/+2 and indestructible. We'll go ahead and save our creature as well. Just 1-for-1 trade over on those combat tricks. And we'll get to the races. Now our Werewolf will tap for 2 mana. So we can get our Worm out next turn potentially. Unless they play 2 spells here. And they can give this first strike once they get their graveyard filled up a bit. Ooh, Child of the Pack. I think I'd rather get out the Worm first. Get a nice chunk of life here. And I'm happy to trade into to their creatures if they want to do that. trade 2-drops. Theirs is an uncommon, and mine can trample over for a little damage, so I'm fine with this. Next turn we can slam down our Child of the Night and start pumping out some wolves. If we play this now, it'll come in the night side, and everything will get +1. This has trample. This will be a 4/4. I don't think I want to be attacking with this anyways, but that's fine. Go ahead and swing in with our worm. They'll make some use out of their Spore Crawler, getting to draw a card, and yeah, we'll pass the turn. I'd actually love if they did want to switch it to today here in Double Spell. Wouldn't be opposed to pumping out 2 wolves and then flipping it right back to night again. Instead, opponent going to cast a nice werewolf of their own. Going to draw them a card when it dies. We'll go ahead and swing with our big guy here. They'll block with that Wedding Crasher, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Get that card draw going. And we'll go ahead and get that worm right back. Opponent with the Snarling Wolf. Not looking too great for them. Get our worm in here first. And start swinging with our wolves. See what kind of combat trick the opponent has. Just the pump. But next turn we can give our worm Death Touch, and that way it only has to deal 1 damage to each of their creatures and can trample over all the rest. Or same thing with Packmate. I suppose it has it too. Yeah, and that's going to do it. Nice little showing with the worm doing a lot of work there, gaining us 10 life. See y'all in the next round. Welcome back to game number 5. We are on the draw this time, but we've got a pretty decent starting hand here. Nice little curve. Hopefully we can get to some of our big creatures before they start blowing us up. Then we have the Visionary to draw us towards more cards. I do think I will get the Visionary down first still. Lantern Bearer, a great little blue disturb card there. 1/1 flyer that can come back and give something else +1/+1 in flying. Because the Visionary doesn't trade well into the Lantern Bearer, I think we will go ahead and use that on our turn next time here. Although now we might be okay with it, because they're going to exploit their creature here, I assume. Yep. I don't mind trading the Visionary off into the Assistant. If they want to make that play. Then we'll drop our statue and start getting some counters going there. Can't be blocked as long as it's attacking alone. Okay, that could be a problem later on. Opponent hasn't used any removal yet, but I think I'd rather use my mana and play this on curve. We do have one way to get a creature back from the graveyard, so... just in case they do deal with him. kind of get it +1/+1 in flying here. Make a little black mana in our red-green deck. Alright, now we'll go ahead and use our ramp here. Oh, and hope they don't have a counterspell. What am I thinking? I forgot we're playing against blue. Well, we might lose the hunter, but at least then hopefully we'll be able to resolve the Brambleworm. Yep. That's okay. Cruel Witness. Gonna let them surveil anytime they cast a non-creature spell. But we really need to draw into some removal or something. We're gonna die in the air to these flyers. Thankfully the worm will give us a nice little health bump, which will be great. And our statue's gonna flip. If they have another counterspell here, I'm gonna be disappointed. Excellent. I think we're not going to attack with him quite yet. I'd rather wait one more turn. Next turn we can either do nothing and flip it to Knight, and then hold up Sure Strike, or attack in and use it as a combat trick. Opponent bouncing. Yep, gonna bounce our 5/5 back to our hand. It's alright. Oh, the worm does have reach. I forgot about that. Alright, and it is officially night. I think we will go ahead and swing first. See if they choose to block with their witness or not. I think we'll go ahead and use this once. Let's go ahead and use it twice. May as well use up all our mana here. If they have a way to pump their flyers and kill us, we're gonna die anyways. Oh, that's fine. And that's going to be the game. Yep. Another good showing from the green-red wolf deck, with the worm once again putting in excellent work with the between the life gain to help stabilize and the reach to help keep the flyers at bay. Excellent. I will see y'all in the next game. Welcome back to game number 6. We are on the play with a fine starting hand here. Get our lose a little value on our Scorpion, dropping it on turn 2, but it'll allow us to curve out nicely here. Ooh, and a great draw with the Child of the Pack. I think I'll actually play that before the loner here. And we'll get that day-night cycle train rolling. If the opponent wants to remove our Weaver and use some removal on that, I'd be pretty happy about that. Alright, just going to go ahead and draw some cards, make a blood token. Discard a land. And... The Child is going to draw aggro like crazy. But I may want to just get it down now so we can start pumping out wolves next turn, or we could just draw up the lightning wolf for now. I think either way we're going to be swinging in with both creatures, so we'll do that first. And I guess we'll play the Child and make them have the removal. There's the black card that gives -13, I think it is. That could be one way to get rid of it. Or opponent just going to play a Socialite, make another blood token. I do think we want to have as many creatures out as possible here, although I think I'm going to go ahead and get the Hunter down while we've got a 5 toughness creature here guaranteed, in case they do something sneaky. And then next turn we can either drop the Loner or flip it to Knight. Pump the team with the Child of the Pack's static ability on the other side. There's the -13 I was talking about, but I'm actually kind of happy it got used on that instead of the Child. I'd rather have the Child's ability. 1 mana away from being able to activate it twice. But I do think that is what we want to do. Then we'll swing in with our Death Toucher again here. And it is officially nighttime. Opponent with plenty of cards and some mana to double spell, though, if they want to turn it back to day. Gonna lacerate our Mana Dork. Not too bad. And now we will go ahead and drop in this guy, because if they block, we will deal that damage right back to their face. Yeah, this is going to be pretty hard for the opponent to come back from this one here. Even if they manage to flip it today, the Scorpion, if nothing else, is likely to keep getting in here. Otherwise, they're going to spend their turn trying to remove some of our high-impact wolves here. Digging, trying to find an answer. Harvester, pretty great card, but I don't think it's going to do the trick here. Well, they will get 2 creatures in. But if they block the Loner, that'll be GG. Yep. Awesome. Nice quick little win. I'll see y'all in the next round. Welcome back. We are on the play here. Really slow hand. I don't think we can actually keep this one. If we had any kind of creature plays between now and turn 7, I would, still consider it, but I think we're going to have to find the mulligan. Still a very slow hand, but I am not really tempted to mulligan down even further, so we'll go ahead and keep this and get rid of the biggest one. And hope we draw into one of our 2 or 3 drops here before we get to turn 4. Oh, Blossoms, Wallow Weaver, not a bad little draw there. Give us something to do here on turn 3. And get that day-night cycle train rolling. I think we want to get the Child down first. Opponent playing the Ripsaw. Part of why I'm not a huge fan. You just have to take your whole turn off just to play it. Another whole turn off just to equip it. Now we'll drop our Expert here. Don't think we need to rush things. Once we can flip it over to Knight and then drop our Loner, as we've seen, we can attack in pretty well. All these 4-powered blockers are actually going to turn into damage against the opponent. And we can actually still potentially get in. I can't remember if, I don't think this thing has, yeah, Summoning Sickness. Get in for an extra point of chip damage since it might actually come into to play with the loner here. And then next turn we'll flip once we have the bigger board. The equipment potentially going to come back very big here if we can get them to block something once the loner's out with their 7 power. I'll happily take a swing from it now if they want to go that route. Alright, going to destroy our child. Definitely disappointing, but not the end of the world. I am going to go ahead and not use my mana, even though it feels bad, just to get the nighttime going. If they have 2 spells, then they have 2 spells. Oh, I forgot their guys even get bigger, so once we drop the loner, it's just going to be gross. Oh, going to go ahead and attack now. They can sacrifice their forest to give it trample. Ah, I forgot that I can't block with the Death Toucher. We'll go ahead and block this one, I suppose, then. Alright. Gonna use their removal there. And the Ballista Watcher from the opponent. If they can flip it, that's going to be bad news for us. But once we flip it tonight here, the loner's other side is going to definitely do some work. But we do have to not play anything this turn. Well, the Death Touchers can't block well anyways, so we'll go ahead and send them in. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's definitely a close one. Those Raiders doing some good work. Opponent can start killing our little creatures off. Or to our Avenger. I don't think they have enough to kill it though, do they? Ah, but it can't block this turn. That is definitely relevant. Well, then that's going to be GG right there, I think. I did not read that second part of the ability there. Good game, opponent. See y'all in the next round. Welcome to game number 8, I believe it is. We are on the play with another slow hand, but this one I actually like a little better than our last slow starter, so we'll go ahead and keep this one and see if we get punished for it. One of the, in fact, I think this is our only 5-drop, so kind of the ideal 2-drop or 3-drop into 5-drop here. Opponent with a Flame Breather. Gonna start pinging us with all of their non-creature spells. And if we happen to hit one more land, we can get the Hunter out as well the turn after. This is a little suspicious. I don't want to get blown out and take the damage from that, so we'll let them, do what they have planned here. And instead, we'll get a little 2-for-1 bodies out. Alright, they're going to go ahead and just remove the Expert, that's fine. Get in for some damage. Yeah, I think I'd rather get my big critter out right now, even if we can't get the most health back out of it. And opponent gonna play a 3/3 that'll get him a blood token. And now, we can Wolf Strike away something. We can play the statue and hold up. I think that's the play. We will go ahead and attack with our 6/6 and see how and if they want to block, though. They do not. Alright, and we have the Witch's Web for the untap on the 6/6, which hopefully can blow out any kind of trick they end up trying to pull. The only indestructible that I know of in the set is from white, so we shouldn't have to worry about that at least. And if things get really bad, we can always try and do the Wolf Strike instead of the Witch's Web. Opponent tapping very specifically here. And they are on the 3 colors, so likely splashing some kind of bomb. This set has enough fixing that you can splash a bomb, but not enough that you really want to go hard into 3 colors. And just drawing a couple of cards. Blood Vial Purveyor. Pretty good. They're going to go ahead and give it -13, -13. Not a lot we can do about that. That could definitely be a problem. Yeah, I think we're going to play the wolf. And then we will hold up some tricks again. We're really going to need to flip this tonight at some point, though, so we have a creature big enough to fight with. Alright, they're going all in on the blood tokens here. Okay. think what I want to do here is give the wolf first strike, and then swing with it, hoping that they block with their purveyor. Of course they don't. Alright, instead we will untap it here. This is, yep, not the ideal way to do this by any means, but we have to get rid of that purveyor. It is just going to destroy us here, and hope that this is not a way for them to get it back out of their graveyard. And then next turn we can finally flip it to knight and then start swinging in. And we now have 2 blood tokens courtesy of our opponent that we can start turning our lands into card draw. I do think I want to block here, but do I want to block? I think I'd rather have the first strike potential here. Yeah. If they have a combat trick to save the guest, that's fine. I'll trade it off for my blossoms. And if the opponent does us the favor of not playing any cards, ooh, even better. Then we'll go ahead and drop our loner first here. And we may as well see what we draw. Scorpion, huh? We'll go ahead and activate the first strike on this guy, though. And if they can deal damage to it from removal, that'll be fine. We can send that damage back at them somewhere. Yep, just like that. And we'll go ahead and take out their werewolf with that. And they're going to go ahead and scoop it up. They are over it. Hard to blame them. The Avenger just doing so much work for us this draft. Very glad I got to play around with that card. Oh. But that is going to do it for this round. I will see y'all in the next one. Welcome to the final game. We are 6-2, so this is the last one for all the marbles. We are on the draw with a reasonable starting hand. We can play our statue here to fix for the red until we draw a mountain, and that'll let us ramp into the expert as long as it doesn't get removed, so not a bad start. And even better, we hit the mountain right away, so we can play the visionary on turn 2 instead of the scorpion and keep its enter the battlefield effect for later. And if they want to trade off a visionary for a disciple, I'm probably going to take that trade. And they're going to gain a life off of that. Not a problem. See what they play out now. I don't remember white all that much. I just remember it being rather weak in the format. Draw a card. Nice little draw engine there for a human's deck. But we are going to get out our 5-drop here. Start the day-night train early. Now we have a nice little piece of removal. Ooh, and that's going to be an excellent target for it right there. We'll just go ahead and shoot that off right now. We will drop a scorpion and give our bug death touch here so we can swing on in with both critters and make some more bugs. I guess it makes sense that a werewolf would have some bugs on it. Maybe they're fleas or ticks or something. Oh, right, and the opponent just must have had a terrible start or hand, so we are going to go ahead and make that a 7-2. Not a bad start to the return of Crimson Vow here. Take one last look at this deck. That did us well. The Hunter's definitely doing a lot of work, and the Worm, just having your big top-end creatures come in and heal you for a nice amount is really just such a great way to stabilize in most formats, most limited formats at least. The Expert doing great, coming in and giving you 2 bodies for 1. The Child of the Pack just doing great work, allowing you to have a mana sink that still impacts the board and lets you flip from day to night. The Statues just doing some excellent work as well, both as a ramp and then as a threat in the later game. And then the all-star of the deck has to be our first pick rare here, the Ill-Tempered Loner. The ability to just send the damage that hits any of your permanents back anywhere you want is just so strong. Gonna have to get a copy of this for some of my commander decks even, because that just seems like a great little card there. Awesome, but thank you all for joining me here on this Crimson Vow draft. I appreciate all of you watching with me, and I'll see y'all in the next draft video.